Guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to look at one of the immensely popular categories of knives, gentlemen's folders. These are more slender, easier to carry knives that you may want to look at for day-to-day carry instead of something big and tactical. So let's turn this around and take a look at 5 of my favorite gentlemen's folders from above. All right, guys, like I said in the intro, we're going to look at 5 gentlemen's carry knives. These are smaller knives that would be more your gentleman style knives that are easier to carry for the day-to-day. And we're going to start right here in the middle with the Finch Knives Stinger. Now, this is a great little knife that's done in 154 cm with this long Wharncliffe style blade, nice straight edge on this. And Finch Knives have been putting out so many really good knives, and this is one of my favorites they've done. 154 cm takes a really, really good edge, and this is done in a really nice fashion. This is a nice slender knife. It'll sit in your pocket well, and it's attractive. You've got these ebony wood scales that come up into this steel bolster. It is a nested frame lock or bolster lock, if you will, done in a flipper. Super comfortable in hand, and it just cuts so well. You can see I've used this. I've had to strap it back up. One of the cool features about this knife is, even though it doesn't have a finger choil, it's got this area on the flipper tab that a lot of the Finch knives have, where you can get way up on that and use that like a choil and get up close to the working surface. As far as using this knife, it's really nice because it comes down super thin. It's going to be useful for a lot of purposes, especially if you want something that is this narrow, slender blade. Cutting wise, it's got a very nice blade profile. It's not too thick blade stock, comes down to a nice edge that's easy to maintain because it's fairly straight. This thing is really comfortable in hand, and just aesthetically, it's a very nice knife, especially if you're like in an office setting. You want something that is more along the lines of something that's not going to be the tactical feel. This might be what you're looking for. Finch puts these shields in here. They glow in the dark. Really, really cool. Liners on this have not been weight reduced, so it does have a good feel. Even though there's enough material removed to put in the ebony that you get that weight reduction, which then gives it a really nice balance. I think there's a couple different versions of this knife you can get. I'll try to put as many purchase links as I can down below, but no guarantees. Some of these knives are out of stock. You may have to look for them on the secondary or do an in-depth search. So there you go, the first one, the Finch Knives Stinger. So now this knife is a knife that has been around for a while. Now mine has been modified. You're not going to be able to get this pattern. I had this done by a friend of mine. Nico did this, but this is the Ferrum Forge Knife Works Gent. Now mine is an original mass drop release. They have started selling these on their website, which is why it's back on here. This is one of the best little gentleman's folders you're going to find. These were done in S35VN. I'm not sure what the new ones are in, but they're going to be basically the same profile. Nice pocket clip on this. It's a slender knife, nice and light. It's got these overlays that take up a good bit of space that give you some really good grip, but also then some weight reduction because there's not as much material there. Flipper tab on this, perfectly positioned to then be a hand guard. It's got a small choil on it if you want to choke up on it. You've got a nice grind on this, flat grind. This cuts so well. As far as utilitarian purposes, you've got the ambidextrous pocket clip, but you can also take the pocket clip off and just carry it in your pocket like you would a regular folding knife. This thing has got some super clean lines. This has been one of my favorite of their production designs that they've ever done, and I absolutely love it. The action on these, so smooth, easy to just shake home, and on a light knife, that's not easy to do. And then once you do have it open, you've got really good access to the lock mechanism on this, so it's not out of sorts, so you still get really good access to that. This is just one of the best all-around smaller style knives that you're going to find, and like the other one, really well balanced and nice and light on this. Even though they didn't do the weight reduction inside, this is just a very light little easy to carry knife. So there you go, the Ferrum Forge Knife Works Gent. Okay, these next couple may be a little bit harder to find because I don't know if they're making them currently, but this is the Ray Laconico design Monterey Bay knives slayback. Now this one is in carbon fiber and ZDP 189 core, so you've got the jacket that's laminated steel. This is an incredible little knife. All of the Monterey Bay knives are great. Ray Laconico's designs are always amazing. This thing is really, really nice. It's done in a Wharncliffe style, and it's got this sway back to it, but it is so comfortable in hand. Great, great pocket clip on this. Carbon fiber on this with a liner lock, and the liner lock is just beautifully done. The blade on this cuts so well. So you've got 67 Rockwell ZDP 189 core at the edge, and then just some jacket steel on top. So that's gonna give you the best of both worlds. You save a little bit of money because you're not using much material, and you still have the full-size blade. Carbon fiber on this means it's super light. And then the Monterey Bay knives handles on all their knives, the Laconico style handles that they've done, are great. And then their pocket clip, simply amazing in and out of pocket. This is one of those knives that you can use for everything. Well, pretty much, because you have some limitations because of the blade shape. But as far as carrying this, this is an elegant looking little knife if you're wanting to go someplace where you want a knife that you put in your pocket looks a little bit better. But as far as a workhorse, this is one that really stands up to the level of work you would want to do. The blade on it is such a good cutter. It is a beautifully straight Wharncliffe blade. And then, like I said, with this sway back to it, it puts it in a really good angle. You've got that fills your hand, and then you can get up on the spine of this. They didn't do any ugly jimping on this, which I love. And then, like I said, the pocket clip on this is just so simple, and it looks good, but very, very comfortable in the pocket and in hand. There's nothing hot on this. So there you go. If you can find one of these, I absolutely recommend you pick one up. So let's go ahead, move on to the next one, which is also a little bit harder to find. And it's the Oaks Works EDX Lantra. Now this is a great, great little knife. M390, titanium. This one has got the Arctic Frost or Arctic Blue fat carbon fiber. Great, great action on this. This is a frame lock front flipper with thumb studs. But what you got here is it feels like a full-size knife in hand. When you get up on it, it is great. You don't even have to get all the way up in the finger choil, which you can. But even back here, super, super controllable knife. The handles on it, some of the most comfortable on a small knife. You're going to get action on this. Just incredible, either with the flipper tab or with the thumb studs or the top flipper. When you've got this deployed, you've got jumping up here, you can get way up in that with that thumb ramp, and then you can also get up in that choil. But then you've got all of this, which is super attractive, but it's jimping. So when you've got this knife in a pinch cut, as opposed to a lot of knives, this area around the pivot doesn't feel slick. You can definitely get up on it if you're using it in a pinch cut to do something. And then, like I said, really good jimping on this. I'm a fan of jimping for a purpose, for good jimping, and this has it where it counts. Absolutely incredible. And the way it feels in hand when you've got that full up, choked up grip on that, absolutely, absolutely feels like a bigger knife. Full flat grind on M390 with a lot of belly on this, but not so pronounced that it doesn't do things that you would want to do. A lot of times, really radius knives, you can't do a lot of the things you would want to do with them because they don't have enough flat. This thing's just incredible. And then just the grind on it looks amazing. You've got these belt satin grinds with the flats going that way, and then everything, all the hardware has been anodized blue. Pocket clip on this, incredible pocket clip in and out of pocket. And then on the back spacer, you've got a spot for a lanyard without needing a lanyard hole. It doesn't take up space on it. This thing is just truly incredible. This knife has spent so much time in my pocket. I can't recommend it more highly. So, and Eric's just a great guy. So let's go ahead and move on to the last knife. And this last knife is a cold steel, and it's actually two, because there's two different size versions of this knife. So this is one of the ones that's a little bit, and I know people are gonna be like, well, that's not a gentleman's folder. This is the Tough Light, and this is an incredible knife. I've had this knife for a long time. This was a gift from my father. These are an incredibly good, comfortable cutter for day-to-day cutting. Nice Wharncliffe style blade on this, comes down nice and straight. If you've noticed, a lot of these knives are Wharncliffe because that's a very good day-to-day carry. But then you've got the way this sits in hand, super comfortable. But they also have the mini Tough Light, which is every bit as comfortable, if not more comfortable. And you can see significantly smaller, but you're not giving up anything. I've got a full 4-finger grip on this. And for most of the things I would do, that's a big enough blade. It's a big enough blade. You're not losing a whole lot on blade length, maybe an inch in blade length, but for day-to-day cutting, either one of these is going to be great. This thing is my day-to-day carry. It's got the triad lock on it. If I'm going to carry either one of these, it's probably going to be this one. This one would fit on a key ring really nicely, but like I said, you have a triad lock on both of these, which is going to be, this is the smallest knife I know of with a lock that strong. It's just, it's overkill on a knife like that, but that's what cold steel does. But like I said, back to the way it feels, it is radius the whole way, like this half moon shaped knife you've got. It just basically is radiused into your hand so comfortably and so perfectly that for heavy cutting, even on the smaller blade, absolutely not a problem. This one is in 410 stainless. This one is AUS 8, but this is an older one. I don't know what steel they come in now, but this is in AUS. This is AUS 8. This one has a couple more options. This one does have, you know, reversible pocket clip. You can't do that on a mini, but like I said, this would fit perfectly on a keychain. So all these knives are great day-to-day carry options. If you're looking for a smaller, like gentleman style knife, these might be options you want. So let's turn this around, do some final thoughts, and send you out about your day. So there you go, guys. These things are great. And the fact is, I do like to carry the big tactical knives like the Microtech Amphibian and stuff like that. But the fact is, I don't always carry those. These are a lot easier to carry, especially if you're going somewhere where people might not want you to carry something like that. So a slender, more gentleman style knife may be appropriate for different situations. So at any rate, guys, we've talked about this enough. You know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, drop a comment, hit the bell icon. Check out all the affiliate links down below. That's how you can support the channel the most. That's basically self-sponsorship, especially the Amazon store. Take that, pin it to browser, use it for all your Amazon shopping. A couple of those links down below have got a discount built in. Coffee Brand Coffee and Tempered Trail, 10% off your order when you go there just by using the link. So coffee and some really good outdoor laces and hand-stitched leather wallets over at Tempered Trail. You can also save 10% at Farnforge Knife Works, KATSU Knives, and Rosecraft Blades by using coupon code crazysharp, all one word. Saves you 10% at checkout at all of those. You can also support the channel by joining my membership if you choose to. There's a link that says join on the main thing, but you can also find the link down where it says join the memberships. Guys, that's pretty much it on this one. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comment section if it's your birthday. Happy birthday. And I'll see you all in the next video.